you try to claim that the moral of God is one that is good and loving, but yet, even to this day, there's still poverty, trafficking, murder, racism, all of the above that still exist in our world, that have existed since biblical times. You see people dying in third world countries, and they pray to God each day, and yet they don't make it. How is that moral?
Well, you fail to account for two. I mean, there are more than two, but two specific points that I would like to bring up. Number one, at least if you're following Christianity, it is very specifically stated that these evil things are brought into the world by Satan. And if God just didn't give us the way to choose our own path, if he didn't give us free will, then what would us following him mean? We wouldn't really be following him or loving him. We would be pre-programmed to do what he says. And number two, what is the definition of just? We say that we seek justice, we search for revenge when we're wronged, and all of these people in the world think that they know what true justice is. They have their idea of what it is. Oh, to me, this seems right. No matter which way you look at it, people like to follow this subjective view of morality, but if God is real and he is the standard, then who are we to judge him when he judges us? If we're suffering, but God is above us and he is the standard and he's letting it happen, that must be happening for some reason.
You claim it's because of sin, but the answer for sin has been so-called answer with your Savior. But yet, since your Savior ascended, the world has only gotten worse. I've seen humanity at its core, and let me tell you, it doesn't get better. It just gets worse. Everything continues to happen. You claim that it's because we have a choice, but what's that choice if most people are not going to be taking that choice to do what is considered good in your God's view?
Well, who are most people? I know for a fact that you and I aren't going to choose that path. We don't seek vengeance or fall into rage against people. We're not going out there and committing mass genocide or terrorism. And I'd assume all of these people in the audience aren't either. And that doesn't mean all of them are Christians, of course, but you say that you see this terrible side of humanity, and that is very true. But when driven to do the right thing, when following the right path, humanity is able to do amazing things.
But yet, we've created the same people who you deem as great people have created weapons that can wipe us out in seconds.
But you're making a generalization. How many of these people in our audience here are making war weapons?
Classified.
And that wraps up what's going on. Any questions from the audience?
You.
I have a question. In Job, it foretells of this creature. Could it be real, or is it just a myth that the Bible or God said to be true?
Why don't you answer that first?
Well, depending on who you ask in Christianity, people will give you different points of view on this creature. Some would believe that it was a literal telling of an actual living creature that lived in that time period, and some would say it was more of God trying to explain events that happened or things that people saw that they wouldn't quite understand in that time frame in a way that they could understand them. In a similar way to how some Christians believe that the 6 days at the beginning of the Bible were literal, or some believe that the 6 days were a way of God explaining the time period where he created the world. But I think that's something that generally you can decide for yourself, but either way there is fact to that account. Depending on how you look at it, you might see a different truth, but the truth is there.
So you think that there's a possibility of a fire-breathing kaiju existing? You know, those things that they have in movies, destroying small-scale buildings. Do you think that there's a possibility that could exist?
Well, I didn't say that. I mean, generally, I believe in the more scientific view of the Christian ideology, but at the same time, who's to say that there couldn't be?
The thing breathes fire. How could it, for one, how could it generate the fire? Two, how could it survive without burning itself?
We see creatures do amazing things in nature. The designs that God created for them to be able to do all sorts of crazy things. For example, a squid blinding its prey with ink. Who's to say what kind of contraptions God could have created in the wild back then?
Yes, but fire.
Good debating, you sir.
You too.
Man, that was a good debate.
Yeah, may think you're a lunatic, but I do have respect for you.
Well, it's getting a bit far, but I have respect for you too, even if I don't quite agree with the viewpoints.
Thanks. You know, most people I deal with have been rude to me in the past, so it's a nice change that you are respectful.
Yeah.
Like, after some debates, I've been having threats sent to me, but so far, everything's just been peaceful with you.
You know, isn't that interesting? I mean, maybe I'm being a little forceful with my point of view here, but that could lead into a really good debate about morality.
Do you suppose you're right?
We should do that sometime.
You should. I have things to do. I'll talk to you soon.
See you later.
Alright. What have you guys been up to lately?
Sir, it appears we struck gold. This lair
My god.
seems like it has not been opened in nearly 10,000 years.
10,000 years old? That's crazy.
Hey, be careful. Look, I'm trying to.
You actually were able to uncover this.
The magnetic poles are too much. We're going
What's
down.
going on now? No. Hello?
Hey man,
John.
I'm sorry about your team.
Wow. I was in no way expecting you to call me. Nor was I expecting you to send me your condolences, but thank you.
I'll make it up to you. Let's go out to eat. My treat.
Yeah. But it'd be nice being able to spend some time with you. Yeah, I'll be down there shortly.
So how have things been, man?
I've tried to be taking it not too rough. It's just difficult because I've known these guys for years. It's not easy.
Yeah, I hear you. Man. How did all that happen? I mean,
Apparently they were drilling in some layer that was like hadn't been open in like 10,000 years. All of a sudden, because everything was so different back then on Earth, all of a sudden the magnetic pole just went. People just got pulled right into it.
dang.
But there's something about that last bit of audio that had always been scarring me to this very moment. Something that's just in my mind. There was something that did not sound mechanical. It sounded organic.
What if it was some kind of creature or something? Like something that would have been hidden away for millions of years?
Are you hearing this? They said that just a little bit ago. Some camera footage of a creature was caught on camera.
Could it be?
priority in my life for this day, but it's a risk I must take. I think there's a good possibility that whatever's out there could have been responsible for the deaths of my men.
Wow.
Good sandwiches, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
It's the best I've ever had.
This is one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, 5 years ago in my old town, they actually closed this place up, so glad I'm able to have this again. I'm gonna do the unthinkable here. This little garnish in here.
A little garnish?
Yeah. Hello, guys. We may have uncovered a secret to what actually had caused the magnetic pull. We've been linking together the sightings of this new creature, and we have made parallels since at the rate the creature was traveling at from when it was first reported to where it's currently at now. We've concluded the creature may well have been indeed been released from the magnetic pole effect on the submarine. Okay, this is where I cross the line with you. I've known you for years, and out of everything you've tried to propose to us, this is the worst thing you've ever done. You are drawing too many conclusions. Do you know how many reports per year we get about the Loch Ness Monster and other fake creatures? It's no difference with this one. Look, I don't know where I exactly stand religious-wise, but you need to stop cutting me off. I know that this may seem delusional to you, but this actually may have some weight to it, like the sound that played in the recording I have of it here.
Too much. You're going down.
You hear that? You're not believing me? You're not believing that sounds like an organic creature? There's no one confirming that this is an actual monster. And if this were a joke, it would be insensitive. But this is beyond that point now. I've lost my respect for you as an individual, and you need to get help. How dare you? How dare you try to dismiss me simply because I'm siding with him out of all people? He and I were the ones who put it together before all of you could. So if you're going to be treating us with such malice, then you could all honestly just leave. I don't care about any one of you. Rick, I get it. You're hurt, just like we all are. I recommend that you just take some time to yourself. You're hurt just as much as we are. And that's okay. Just please leave for now. Oh, so you're gonna be kicking me out? Well, fine. I don't need you guys anyways. You guys have never once helped me once, not in years, so I could do without you. Peace.
Shall we commence the attack? This is Gigantisaurus after all.
I want all of you to kill him as soon.
Very well then. Everyone, attack at once!
And so you see, everybody, the deliverance of prayer does not come from our faith, and the deliverance of anything that God does in our lives does not directly come from our faith. Faith in and of itself does not have innate power. But when that faith is towards God, the one who can do anything and help us with anything we need, that faith becomes powerful. Sorry, everyone. This is a very important call. I actually need to take it.
I'm really sorry to interrupt your sermon, but news is just spreading. The village that you sent your missionary to, it just burned down recently. Governments are saying there was an act of arson committed by terrorists, but I think it's safe to say that our predictions were correct. Gigantisaurus is coming by. He's coming by fast.
Oh, goodness.
Council isn't believing us, so I have no choice.
I'm gonna have to upload all this evidence online.
It seems like the only reasonable thing to do. People need to know.
Then I shall do this.
You two, come with me. I saw your video describing what we know about Gigantisaurus so far. I would like to use the information with the military. I can tell that you have a lot of expertise in this subject, so I'd like it if you would work with us to help defeat this monster and keep America safe.
Of course.
Anytime.
Here, take this phone. It has the contacts of multiple leading officials in the military and the government in case you need to give them information on Gigantisaurus.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Rick and John. They will be telling us information they have on Gigantisaurus, his whereabouts, and how we can deal with him.
We've been able to predict for the past day or two that Gigantisaurus, once he had escaped from the lair that had been broken, that he had been traveling closer to Chicago. We knew this since the village attack, which had been covered up as an arson terrorist attack. But we all know that's not the case. Anywho, he knows a bit more information about this monster than I do, so is there anything you should say about it?
First of all, this monster can breathe fire, so that's incredibly dangerous. Please stay inside your homes unless an evacuation is called for, which it may be. That might be the safest course of action. We are going to have soldiers in place to protect everybody and stop the monster.
I believe that this creature's name is Leviathan, but he's been dubbed as Gigantisaurus. So that's what we shall be calling him from now on.
God help us all. monster has escaped. One of the sewers were unchecked. It's gone off our radar. We have no idea where it is.
My fellow Americans, our plan failed. Gigantisaurus has escaped its death. We predicted that it'll land somewhere around the capital of Wisconsin. Please, everybody, stay safe. Get into shelters, hide, do whatever you can to stay away from this thing. I pray that God will be up with all of us. God bless you.
Mr. President,
Yep.
we must get you to evacuation. Let's go. All right. Direct hit, sir.
All right. What's that glow? Okay, John. Rick is going to explain to you what we've been working on for the past few weeks.
For a while, since the whole Chicago attack, we had actually been collecting samples since then of Gigantisaurus that he had left from the skin that had been planted on the ground. and we've been able to develop a new type of bacteria that would reverse his regenerative properties. So we're going to be filling these explosives with the appearance of needles into his skin. They will explode, thus having this bacteria go into his bloodstream. Then he won't be able to contain the energy because he won't be able to regenerate from it.
That's a solid plan.
Are you ready to execute the attack?
Yep. My fellow Americans, we're safe. We've defeated the monster. My heart goes out to all of the families of those who died during these attacks. As the leader of the military, we will be preparing for future possible attacks from monsters like these because we don't know what could attack us in the future, and we as Americans need to be prepared for anything that could come at us. Stay strong. God bless you all.